Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanam Bhunattu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मरम्। ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। 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 When it comes to understanding God, it had developed into great turmoil in this world. Major two world wars were because of the fanatic views of the people about God. And even today, it continues. For when a philosophy misunderstood, misconstrued, and applied to religion, it becomes fundamentalism. And the fundamentalist, they do not have either funda or mental. Both are wrong. And thereby they believe in their pet theories, and not alone that, they oppose violently towards others' opinion also. That had led to great destruction, violence. Vedanta says no one is denied of presence of God. Everyone is equally blessed by the presence of God, whether you are human or otherwise. And here in the verse number 18 that we see, in every body, Bhagavan's presence is there. God's presence is there. And that is the view of Sanatana Dharma, Vedanta. So we read here, 18th verse. Navadvare pure dehi Hamso lelayate bahihi Vashi sarvasya lokasya Avarasya charasya cha Navadvare pure dehi Hamso lelayate bahihi Vashi sarvasya lokasya Tavarasya charasya cha. Tavarasya of plants, charasya of anything that moves. In all of them, sarvasya lokasya, Vashi. Vashi, one who controls all things, including trees and plants and birds and animals and human. And where is it? In the human body, Navadvare Pure Dehi. He, the one who is abiding in the body of every one of us. And usually human beings have 9 gates, 9 dwaras. Saptva shirasi. In the head itself, we have 7 doors. 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears, and 1 tongue. 7 apertures, 7 windows, so to say, through which consciousness expressing itself. So when I see someone, I'm conscious of what I'm seeing. When I see anything, when I'm hearing a sound, I'm conscious of that. When I smell something, I'm conscious of that. When I taste something, I'm conscious of that. Then anus and reproductive organ, 2 of them below. These are also considered as dwara. So the expression of this consciousness, when it happens through our senses, we experience the world. And when it is withdrawn, there is no world. So Ishvara is the one who is enabling us, each one of us, to experience. Therefore, Gita says, Idam Shariram Kshetram. This body is a field. And I am the Kshetrajna, one who uses this body. Idam Shariram Kaunteya Kshetramityya Vidiyade Etat Yo Vetti Tam Prahuhu Kshetrajna Iti Tatvitah. जो उनको जानता है, एक क्षेत्र को जो जानता है वो क्षेत्रज्ञ है. He knows. The body doesn't know itself. It is the one which is other than the body which knows it body exists. When your body is lying down sleeping, you don't even know that you are sleeping there. Only when you operate through the mind and come to touch with the body, oh, I slept. Especially when you have gone to India and come back, there's this jet lag. That's called Jadalogam. Or in the flight itself. You don't even know that you're crossing thousands of miles. Right? So Navadware Dehe Puri, in this 9-gated city, Bhagavan Krishna says in Gita, Naiva Kurvan na Karayan. He doesn't do anything, nor he does make anyone do anything. जो करता भी नहीं है, कारयता भी नहीं है. He doesn't cause anything to do also. Mere presence is sufficient. Yasya sannidhi matrena sarvam pravartate. On whose presence itself makes everyone do everything. Like Bhagavan Surya does not make you to go to the office or wake up. He just comes out. That's how everybody wakes up. All the birds come out. The other animals start, he's not doing anything. He just comes out and puts his natural light everywhere. That also nature only. He's not doing anything. In the same way, presence of the Lord is there in everyone's body. Navadvare pure dehi. And he is said to be Hamsa. Interesting word, Hamsa. Hamsa is a bird which can distinguish or differentiate water and milk. If you mix water and milk, can you distinguish that? The Hamsa bird is said to be a legendary bird which can take only the milk. Water will be left. How interesting it will be. So that is why the Mahatmas are also considered as Paramahamsaha. They are called a great swan. Like what? Like that of the swan, legendary swan, which can distinguish between milk and the water. Once mixed up, we cannot know which is milk, which is water, because it's so not easy to distinguish. In the same way, Atma, Anatma cannot be easily distinguished. Atman looks like Anatman, Anatman looks like Atman. In many of the houses when I go, the plant that they put next to me usually is artificial. So I tell them, is it real or artificial? So, Swamiji, what do you think? So, it's Satyam na Nityam. Yet Nityam na Satyam. Meaning, if it is there for too many days, it is not true. If it is, perishing within few days, then it is true. It's peculiar, because Vedanta says, Yet Satyam tad Nityam. Yet Asatyam tad Anityam. But here it is totally different. Yet Anityam, that which is not true or not living a long time, that is Satyam. That is actually Anityam. Yet Anityam tad Satyam. Yet Nityam tad Asatyam. So, but in the world, we are not able to distinguish between Atma and Anatma. What is I am? What is the true self? What is not me? Because one is known, another is unknown. If there are two things which known, then I can say, based upon the characteristics, I'll say, this is of this nature and this is of this nature. I can distinguish. Both are known. Here, Atma is unknown, but Anatma is known. The body, mind, etc., which I come to experience, I know it. But that is not me. And what is not known is me. And how I can distinguish what is not known from the known? So that is the reason why it is difficult. And those who know it, those who know how to distinguish it, they are called Paramahamsaha. So Guruji also points here, Dehantaram Sharire Patane Hanti Gachati Idi Hamsa. One meaning is Dehantare Sharire Patane. When the physical body is over because of Prarabdha, Dehantare, one who goes, Dehantare Hanti Gachanti. One Gachati. That which is after the fall of the body moves to the next one. That is Hamsa. So that is subtle body is also considered as Hamsa. That is what it goes. So what takes the next body after the fall of this body is our Mana, Buddhya, Ahankara, Chitta and Vasanas. That is also called Hamsa because it moves from one body to another. Another meaning of Hamsa is, as I said, the Paramahamsas, the men of wisdom who clearly distinguish between the truth and the untruths. So, and then the third one is also given as Avidyam Tatkaryam Hanti Nashayati iti Hamsa. That which is the destroyer of ignorance. That is also called Hamsa. So the Ishvara here is considered as or termed as Hamsaha, the Lord within everybody's heart. And Lelayate. Lelayate means he Bahya Vishyan Grihnati. He is allowing the body to engage in various experiences. Lelayate, plays around, sporting from our heart. So, Navadvare Purye Dehi Hamso Lelayate Bahihi. Vashi Sarvasya Lokasya Stavarasya Chara. All right. So, this way, one should recognize that I, the one who is sitting for meditation or upasana and prayer, even though the Bhagavan's form is there in front of me, it is meant for me to turn within and to recognize the Lord who is seen to be outside in that. So when I sit for upasana, puja, or meditation, or even prayer or japa, it is not only repeating the name of the Lord, but also bring him to your heart. When we go to a temple, we do all the rituals, puja, and then arati, etc. But after you do that, you actually have to sit down to bring him into your heart. That is the time you go into rush for the prasad. अरे प्रसाद बाद में ले लो, प्रसाद मन होना चाहिए. After you do the rituals, etc., having invoked the Lord, bring him to the heart. And that if we forget to do, then the going and doing it is like going to the market, buying all the vegetables, come home and don't cook. The whole purpose is what? Go there and after having bought everything, come home and start cooking and cut the vegetables and cook. What is the purpose? The whole exercise is a waste. In the same way, as you sit down for any of these upasana, make sure that the heart is filled with his thoughts, or mind is filled with thoughts. Know that he is already residing in you, and then carry him all along through the day. In fact, the other way around, he's carrying you along. But anyway, so we should carry his thought while he is carrying us. Navadvare pure dehi hamso lelayate bahihi. Vashi sarvasya lokasya stavarasya charasya cha. So this way, we should recognize that Lord's presence in us at all times. And then continuing, see, the words of Upanishads are always very abstract. Truth can never be not abstract. It has to be abstract because it is comprehensible by the mind, then it is conditioned by the mind. If it is understandable by the mind, then it becomes an object of the character. Some characteristics are there. With that way, and understand. When the characteristics are not there, then the object doesn't exist. If I say there is fire, I know its characteristic. It's hot and it's light. And beyond that, there is not much to understand. If there is no heat and light, there is no fire there. In the same way, can you bring a characteristics, features of God and say, he is only this is. And if it is not there, he is not there. So when you try to objectify Bhagavan, you are conditioning it. As Swami Vivekananda said, if you define God, you are defiling him. You are conditioning him. So Upanishad always brings this point that if you try to understand the supreme reality with your mind, you will fail. You should fail. Not that you will get frustrated. You know that you cannot be known as an object. So here in the next verse we see here, Apanipado javano grihita. Pashyatya chakshu sashrunotya karnah. Saveti vedyam cha na cha tasyasit. Sorry. Na veti vedyam na cha tasya asti. Repeat. Veta tasma deta tamahuragram purusham mahantam. Apanipado javano grihita pashyatya chakshuhu sashrunotya karnah saveti vedyam na cha tasyasti veta tamahuragram purusham mahantam. Here, apani padaha, no pani and no pada, no hand or no leg, no feet. Who? He has no feet, no hands. Oh, is he handicapped or what? But Javana, but he moves. Grihita, he holds. So how is that possible? Without hands and legs, he is able to. It's like a riddle you ask children. When you ask the children, they come up with, in Google, when you go, there's riddles for children. They come and ask me also. Swamiji, I have a riddle for you. One boy said, imagine, Swamiji, you are in front of a lake, a huge lake, and lot of crocodiles everywhere. And you have to cross to the other bank of the river. No boat available, no ferry available, no bridges available. How do you go? No, you would, and if you swim, you will be eaten alive. So how do you do? I went on and on and on and on. How do you do? You want to know, Swamiji? You want to, because once they say that, they would like to give the answer also. Give up, give up, give up, give up, give up. Okay, I give up. Don't imagine. Because the first statement is, imagine you are standing in front of a river. Stop imagining. So here, apani padaha, no feet, no pada, and no pani also, no hand. But what? Javanaha. So this is a reflection from other Upanishad also. Tad ejati, tanne ejati, tad dhure, tad antike, tad antarasya sarvasya, tad sarvasyasya bhahyataha. Upanishad, Kathopanishad says, it moves not. It's far away, it's so close to you. It is inside, it's outside. Gurudev used to say, make up your mind. Say one thing. Don't say two contradictory things. Is he moving or not moving? Both. If you go to court of law, they do not ask, they don't give yes or no. No, maybe, and all those things. Is this the person who murdered? Yes or no? Maybe. Maybe is not an allowed. Then you are not a witness. You cannot say maybe. Yes or no. Similarly, if Upanishad says it moves not. It is inside, it's outside. The dure, it is far, it is near. So we have to understand the contextually that what it means. For those who do not know, it is far. And those who know, it is closest. Those who understand is inside. Those who don't understand, it is outside. In the same way here, apanipadaha, without hands and legs, but moves, grabs everything. Meaning, one meaning is, it appears to be doing this. As I said, Bhagavan, even though sitting in our own heart, it doesn't do anything. But because his presence, we are able to do things. Now, if I ask, is the current responsible for this light? Yes. Then in the wire in which it goes also, that will be light. Current is not light. Because of current, there is light. Now, therefore, light is the nature of the bulb here, and bulb cannot emit light unless there is power. So what does the power do? It doesn't do. But without heat's presence, it is not possible. So does the power give light or not? Does the power give light? Then which gives? Power. But it doesn't do it. In the same way, even though we are doing, he is not doing. But without him, we cannot do. Karta bhi hai, akarta bhi hai. So which standpoint you are looking at? From the standpoint of an ignorant person, it moves. From the standpoint of knowledge, it doesn't. So, Javanaha moves, Grihita, and Pashyati Achakshuhu, sees without eyes. And Shrunodi Akarnaha, listens without karna, without ears. Meaning, from the standpoint of our transactional reality, he is responsible for everything. On its own, no. On its own, it doesn't. It is like when you are dreaming and you are running in a forest because the lion is chasing, and you're running and running, you're sweating also. Even while you're lying on the bed comfortably, you're sweating. Because in the mind of yours, in the dream of world of yours, you're running. Now, are you running? But then why are you sweating? Are you running? You're lying down, right? On the bed comfortably. But your heart is palpitation of the heart, and you are sweating. The reactions of your mind's imaginations are responded by the body. Though actually you're not doing anything. So while lying down, Gurudev used to say when he would come from an international tour, and usually early morning or so, and we will all wait for him to come. So when he comes from the airport and reaches the ashram, he will look like a fresh flower. We will all go to him, and some of the aunties who are there, who feel very feeling for him. Swamiji, you traveled all the way, you must be tired. What tired? I was sitting doing nothing for 20 hours. How can I be tired? Obviously, many people say, after the whole long flight, I was so tired. Tired of what? What did you do? Doing nothing, you're tired. Asino duram garjati shavana yadi sarvashah. Upanishad says, Shayano yadi sarvashah. Lying down, he goes everywhere. Is it not true? When you are in the flight or then you are lying down, but you have gone 1,000 miles. So in us also, he is remaining, yet making all things happen. Apanipadah javano grihita pashyatya chakshuhu srunotya karnaha na veti saveti, he knows. He is the one who knows all things. He is vedyam, what it is to be known. जिसको सब मालूम है, उसको हमको, उससे हमको मालूम जानना है. we also need to know him. Not only he knows all of us, once we recognize Saveti Vedyam, but actually what happens? Nacha asti veta. Tasya veta. Nobody really knows. Bhagavan says, I know everyone, but nobody knows me. Vedanta krit veda videva chaham. I am the Vedanta krit veda vid, but nobody knows me. Because I cannot come under the comprehension of the senses and the mind and the intellect, I cannot be objectified. If anybody knows Bhagavan, I know you, he will only smile. You think so? What you know is Dahrameva Vinunam Tam Veta Brahmano Rupam. In Kenopanishad, it says, the student thinks, I know. What do you mean when you know? The teacher says, what do you know is minuscule of what he is. So the student, another student watching it, he says, I know and I know not. One who understands this knows. One who thinks that he knows, he doesn't know. So, here, Saveti, he knows everything and he is to be known. He is to be known means what? See, Vedyam na asti Veta. It's very contradictory here. He knows everything. You need to know, but there is nobody who knows him. What does it mean? When you attempt to know, he will reveal to you. When you attempt to know, when you lose yourself in him, you'll know it. We only know everything by thoughts, right? If I see anything, I know it by in the form of a vritti, a thought. Everything that I experience in this world is in the form of a thought modification. Vritti rupena jnanam. Vritti, thought only, I know everything. But if you try to understand what is this thought, where is the origin of this thought? What makes the thought possible? When you dive deeper into that, you realize that you're touching the nature of consciousness. When you attempt to exclusively know the nature of this consciousness, you become that. So when it is said, na tasyasti veta, meaning there is nobody who can claim to have known the Lord and staying independent of him. As Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, the great master, would say, when the salt doll decided to find the depth of the ocean, what happens? By the time it tries to discover, it disappears. There is no existence of the salt doll of knowing the depth of the water. It cannot remain. In other words, when we turn our attention to know the Lord exclusively, the Lord says, if you want to know me, you become me. Jnani to atmaiva me matam. Jnani is me myself. That is why Upanishad says that yamaivesha vrunade tena labhyaha tasyesha atma vivrunade tanumsu. One who exclusively wanting to discover this Paramatma, exclusively, not with any other thing, exclusively when he goes to know this, Atman reveals itself, and the revelation is what? It absorbs him inside. You will not be thereafter to individually exist to know it. That's why Gurudev would say, if somebody says, I am realized, stay far away from that person. Because there cannot be an existence of an ego claiming to have known God. That person would not exist. Meaning, to claim himself as a knower. Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. So therefore here, Savetti Sarvam. He knows everything. Savedyam. He is to be known. Na tasya asti veta. But there is nobody who really knows. Tamahuhu, that one is known as Agrayam Purusham, the foremost being, Mahan, the supreme, the greatest. So these are all glorification of Ishvara, the Lord. So when we start meditating on these or contemplating upon these, our mind becomes so quiet and focused and fully available for the Lord. These are all, kind of prayers, these Upanishad prayers. Anoraniyan mahato mahiyan Atma guhayam nihitosya janto Tamakrutum pashyati vitashokah Dasu prasadan mahimanamisham Anoraniyan mahato mahiyan Atma guhayam nihitosya janto Tamakratum pashyati vitashokah Dadu prasadan mahimanamisham. Again from the Upanishad. Because see, Upanishad borrow from each other without giving any copyrights. Because nowadays, if you take it from somewhere, hey, you are taking it from me, my book. In the olden time, they never claimed any copyright. There's no that C and then round and all that's not there. Then what is that? You have every right to copy. That is called copyright. Because it's a sharing of the wisdom. What one rishi has experienced, understood, and expressed, other rishis who are of the same period of time, or before or later, whatever, they all had the same experience. If you stand in front of, let us say, there is a sun there, and you say it is bright and heat, it's a truth, right? As far as this world is concerned, it is bright sunlight and it is giving us the heat. Now, any part of the world, if they really have the sunlight and experience, it will be the same only. It will not be different, whether it was some 200 years back or now or 1,000 years later, hopefully. It will be the same. In the same way, truth cannot be hidden for too long, and anybody who experiences the truth will have the same experience. And so when they express, it more or less look like somebody copied from somewhere. Ekam sat vipraha bahuta vadanti. One is the truth, men will explain it. But the experience will be the same. So what is this Paramatma who is sitting within, cannot be known, at the same time one has to attempt to know? Yasya madam tasya madam madam yasya na vedasaha. This is what Upanishad says. Yasya amadam tasya madam. One who does not know, he knows. One who thinks he knows, he doesn't know. You know? You better say, I don't know. Yasya amadam tasya madam. Yasya madam na vedasaha. He doesn't know. Why it is? Because Anoho Aniyan. It is the smallest. Yesterday also explained. This is the subtlemost one. Anu. Anoho Aniyan. It is atomical, even smaller than the atoms. At the same time, Mahatu. Larger than the largest. See, even the smallest to small bacteria also is alive. Galaxies are also alive. The movement of the galaxies, we are, look at the size of ours. compared to this galaxy. This galaxy, don't go too far away. Only when we realize how tiny little point dust we are, and we are worrying about, you know, we are worried about our own immediate problems and other things. Only when we come out, we realize, what am I worrying about? One person got into the flight first time. And because, he was so excited, etc., no doubt, after some time he fell asleep. Then he woke up and he looked outside the window. He exclaimed to the next person, wow, it is true. When we fly up in the sky, everything looks like small, small ants. Other person said, it is ant only. We have not yet started. So when you go so far and you look at what is your house, it's just a dot there. Your city itself is a dot. What are you talking about? When we are keeping a thing very close, it looks so big. When you put it far away and say that's nothing. To look at the galaxy, what the galaxy is doing, so many planets there, stars and other things. Who is controlling? Who is making sure that everything is in place? Mahato Mahiya Atma Asya Jantoho Nihita. That very Atman which is there in the smaller than the smallest and the gigantic presence in everything is where? Mahiyan Atma Guhayam. In the very heart of your own being, Nihitaha, placed. Hridaye Nihitaha. Jantoho Hridaye Nihitaha. Guhyayam Nihitaha. In that very heart cave, it is sitting there. So only a person who has overcome his unintelligent engagement in the world and come to an end of shoka, end of sorrow, pashyati. Vita shokaha tam akratum pashyati. Akratum means one who is not engaged in any kind of action and reaction, cause and effect. Akratum pashyati. One who has no desire to engage, a desire to accomplish anything. Akratum pashyati vita shokaha. And how? Dhatu prasada. By the grace of, one meaning is of the grace of the dhatu. Dhatu means Bhagavan only. Bhagavan says, Pita hamasya jagataha mata dhata pitama vedyam pavitram onkar vriksama yajurevacha. I am the one dhata means dhatru, one who upholds, one who supports everything. I am the one who supports everything. So dhatuhu prasada, by the prasada, grace of the Lord, or dhatu also means indriyan. Meaning mana, buddhi, etc., all of them, when they are quietened, that itself is a prasad. That itself is the mind which is quiet. Dhatu prasadat at isham mahimanam isham pashyati. He is able to understand the glory of the Lord. Even though he is so much very close to us, since we are not available, Bhagavan is waiting. Okay. Let me know when you are ready. He's having so much of patience. We are not waiting for a 1 day or 2 day. Lives together. Thousands of lives we go through, yet we are not ready to meet him. He's very patiently waiting. So it is said that our Swami Tapoanji Maharaj, when he was very sick and he was on his deathbed, so to say, and our Gurudev went to him, saluted him, and he said, Maharaj, you are in Uttarakashi, and we will take you to Delhi so that you will be recovered. We'll try our best. So Tapan ji looked at him and said, "उस दिल्ली शहर में कोई मरता नहीं है क्या?" By going to Delhi, I will survive, you say? That means there's nobody dies in Delhi. No, no, ऐसा नहीं है, but we can save you at least more time you can spend. Bas, oh yeah. From the day I was born, somebody has been waiting. I have been postponing his invitation. Now it's the time to go. So don't stop me. So this is the view of the Mahatmas. They are not afraid of death. Because they know that they are only going to Bhagavan only. Just like the river is not afraid to get into the ocean. He's eager to go. And when it is said that when the river is ready to go, the ocean will come and meet the river. Come on, come on, come on. I've been waiting for you a long time. In the same way, when one who has recognized the highest goal for his life is to reach Bhagavan, Bhagavan will be so pleased. Come on, come on. One in millions. So please come. So Dhadu Prasada, Bhagavan gets pleased by such an eager student, sadhaka. Atman Mahimanam Atmanaha or Mahimanam Isham Pashyati. And the sign of a wise man is no shoka. No shoka, no showcase. Shoka means sorrow, worry. Ashochaha, Ashochan, Anvashochastvam. Bhagavan begins with that in Gita. You are worried about something, you should not worry. And finally, at the end, in 18th chapter means Ma Shuchaha. Don't worry. Worry is a sign of ignorance. Worry is a sign of absence of faith in God. Worry is the sign of lack of sadhana. No trace of worry, no trace of sorrow. If he takes care, why are you worried? But we don't have that faith, no? Mujhe karna hai. Without me, nothing will happen. Bhagavan says, okay, try and do it. Until you realize that you are not the one who is doing it, you will not only be restless, you will be always worried. So when we let go for the Lord to take over and do your best, that is to be done. Whichever with action, do your best. Tasmad asakta satadam karyam karma samachara. Do your best in any action, any particular field, but after that, what will happen? Don't worry. You have done your best and things will happen according to what needs to be done. We are not able to let go of that because we have too many desires. This is the way it should happen. This is what I want. Usual story, all serials have the same, right? No story, no serial is complete without somebody holding on and somebody trying to teach. Don't hold on this much. Everything happens on its own accord. You are holding on or you are deciding, does not make any change. And finally, somebody realizes, hopefully. So in the last verse here, Vedahamedam ajaram Puranam Sarvatmanam Sarvagatam Vibhutvat Janma Nirodham Pravadanti Yasya Brahmavadino Pravadanti Nityam Vedahamedam ajaram Puranam Sarvatmanam Sarvagadam Vibhutvat Janma Nirodham Pravadanti yasya brahmavadino hi pravadanti nityam. Nityam brahmavadinaha pravadanti. Always men of knowledge about Brahman, they say, they continue to say. Again and again, twice it is said, pravadanti, pravadanti. They say, brahmavadinaha pravadanti, nityam pravadanti. What does it say? Aham Veda, I know this one, what as Ajam or Ajaram, not subject to Jara. Jara is old age. Gerontology. Here, in English, they have taken that word. Geriatrics. Jir means to jirnam. Jirnam means to slowly die away, decay. So there are 6 stages in human life. Asti, meaning first your existence before your birth. Another day I was talking about, when if you ask in India, how old are you? Let us say that person say, I am 50-year-old and 51 running. And what do you mean by 51 running? You're not running, you're sitting there only. No, 51 is running. So now we had 74, 1950 was our republic given. Republic declared in Indian Republic. But the 75th is already celebrated. Why? Because 74 over. Now it is 75th running. But here, if you in this country, you say, how old are you? They say this many years old. Not that now it's running and walking and all the things. Why? Because Asti is the first one. Existence, first stage. From existence, next stage is birth. Jayate. Then the third stage is Vardate, growth. Then fourth stage is Viparinamate, changes. Then fifth stage is Apakshiyate, decays. And sixth is Vinashyat, dies. So if you take anything, it is in the form of a seed, the tree, and then tree is born, second stage. Tree is growing, third. Tree is changing, fourth. Tree is decaying, fifth. Dies, sixth. If Jara is not there, old age is not there, that means it's what? It is not growing. Only when you grow, it becomes old. When it is not growing means what? It is not born. Not born means what? Huh? It was there, but not born. Meaning it is always there, existence only. So ajaram, when it is said, na shatvikaraha asti yasya. One who does not have the vikara, change, modification. Ajaram, aham ajaram veda. At the same time, it is Purana. Purana means the ancient. Pura api navavat tishtati iti Purana. Even though old, it is always new. You ask a 99 years old person, so if you ask 99-year-old, how long you want to live? As long as possible. He doesn't want to die. Because body dies, mind doesn't. You please understand this very clearly. Sthula shariram is going to go die. But Sukshma Sharir, mind gets tired of doing this and that, but not ready to die. Mind doesn't die. Mind, after leaving the body, again looks for a new body. So this Atman is that which is now associated with the soul, the individual soul is Puran. Ancient. For so many lives it has been traveling. And so many lives more to go. So this soul which is there, now understanding as the soul, but really this is Chaitanya is Puranam. Vedahamedam ajaram Puranam and Sarva Atmanam. It is the self of all being. Sarvagatam, all pervading. Vibhutvat, being Vibhuhu. Vibhuhu Vyapakam. One who is ever omnipresent is the self of all. And Janma Nirodham. It has no Janma. It's as it is said. Earlier verse it said, there is no old age. Second line it said, Janma Nirodham. It is against or without Janma. Iti Yasya Pravadanti. Those who talk about that, Nityam Pravadanti. Nityam Pravadanti Adinaha. They always talk about it, about that one. That one is worthy of worship, worthy of praise, worthy of puja, worthy of prayer. This is how this very chapter of third chapter of Shvetashvatara Upanishad concludes, giving the clarity about how to really understand and keep the prayerful attitude towards the Lord. Now we'll see the next session when I come back, the fourth chapter. Yeah, July.
July 15 to 19.
Yeah, July 15 to 19 I'll be here. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Kasyid Dukkha Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Anybody has questions? Yes.
So yesterday you talked about food affecting the mind. So if we are in a fasting state, like, we're not consuming any food. So is that one way to clarify our mind? Is that you say that by fasting we are clarifying our mind, improving our thoughts and thought processes? And if that's the case, then when we sleep, we're obviously in a fasting state, plus our mind is at rest. Is that a true way of actually connecting with Bhagwan? And if we do see Bhagwan in our dreams, are we actually connecting with Bhagwan, or is that just our imagination of a dream?
See, in the state of waking alone, you can truly discriminate, because that is where knowledge is available to you. In the state of dream, and not definitely in the state of sleep, there is no true availability of knowledge to comprehend anything. So when you say, in the dream I see Bhagavan, it is very good that you are not seeing something else. That is good. But that doesn't lead to, really speaking, doesn't lead to any awareness or understanding. Because the buddhi, the intellect requires to understand a thing is absent there. It is only the mind projecting something. But if one is sitting in meditation and quietening the mind and withdrawing alertfully, consciously, then that buddhi is available for him to comprehend, further proceed. Not in dream state. According to Vedanta, the dream state is a state where you are only bringing out or bringing again the undigested thoughts, and that does not lead to any particular knowledge. There is sometimes you have a lucid dream. You are aware that you are dreaming, but you are not actually in slumber. So that time you may have creative thoughts. That the buddhi is still awake. Lucid thoughts, lucid dream, that buddhi is still there. Yeah.
Yes. Address the food part that we asked, the first part of
the you said, what's the first
fasting.
Part? Fasting.
Does that help clarify your mind thoughts? Because you were saying yesterday that what we eat also affects our mind. So if we are fasting, that's technically, we're not consuming anything to affect our thought process or mind. So is that one good way to purify your mind thoughts?
True, but fasting has to be done in a controlled fashion. Too much fasting also will tire up the mind. Because mind needs some energy. So Bhagavan Krishna in Gita says, Yukta Ahar. Meaning you have to control the food and not fast completely. So na adi ashnatasya yoga asti, na cha ekantam anashnatah. If a person eating too much also, he cannot sit for meditation, nor the one who does not eat at all can sit for meditation. According to him, we need to moderate the food in such a way that we do not get tired of eating, not exhausted, nor you are tired of not eating also. That tiredness is also do not be there. So it's better to moderately eat, and once in a while you can fast. There is nothing wrong with that. But if body is not given enough food, it the buddhi and the mind may not be available to you. Energy is not there to go through. But there are Mahatmas and yogis who have controlled their diet in such a way that for days together they don't eat, but they have practiced for that. They have practiced how to keep the mind alert and energetic even without the eating food. And they control with prana. See, after all, what we eat is only prana. Prana, the energizer, is the one which is coming in the form of food. But if they are able to control the energy within themselves, then external food is not necessary. So they practice that. Yes.
Hari Om. Thank you, Swamiji. Swamiji, you mentioned, I think in verse number 20, that by the grace of the Lord, we can understand the glory of the Lord. If one has to overcome his unintelligent engagement in world, and there should be end of sorrow. And I think you said the highest goal in life is to reach Bhagwan. The sorrow also, you said, that is the sign, no sorrow. That worry is a sign of ignorance, absence of faith, and absence of sadhana and all that. But I just wanted you to please elaborate, like overcome his unintelligent engagement in world means like we still have to do our, I just needed a little bit more.
Yeah, so the thing is, see, we need to do what we need to do. That needs to be very clear. What is my kartavya?
Mhm.
See, what we mix up is karma with kartavya. That is where the problem is. What I wish to do is not what you need to do. If we can distinguish very clearly, so I need to eat, right? That is kartavya for the sake of the body sustenance, but not cake. But that is not, that is kamya. You see that? So to distinguish that, what you need and what you wish. So in the same way, working also, what you need to do is one thing, but what you wish to do, what you desire to do comes in the way, and it looks like you need to do. And that distinction must be made clear. So when we need to do what we need to do, doing that will make the mind able to perform well, one thing. Secondly, there is no anxiety because you're not expecting anything out of it. Because you need to do, that's all it is.
Mhm.
But when it comes to desire, there is anxiety, there is uncertainty, and then there is a worry.
Mhm. Mhm.
So what you need to do, best of the things you do about that, but then leave it to the Lord to take over from there.
Mhm. And the sorrow, Swamiji, sometimes you do, like when you have a loss or when there is somebody really sick and suffering, there is some sorrow. But you said that then we tend to kind of, but I know you said we don't trust and that's why we worry. I understood that part, Swamiji, but sometimes the sorrow, Swamiji, due to a real reason you feel sad, but
Yeah, feeling sad is there when your near or dear ones are suffering, some whatever it is, physical health, so many other things. Yeah, you should definitely feel emotionally for those people or for the situation, no doubt about that.
but
But at the same time, again, in that situation also, you are doing your best and then leave the Lord to take over, do the prayer, and not sit and worry about what will happen. That shows that the mind is not ready to give up. It is still, holding on to it.
I think you mentioned, Swamiji, show emotions, but don't be emotional, as said by Guru.
Yeah.
Emotion.
Emotion is beautiful, but emotional is really slavery.
Thank you, Swamiji. It's very clear. Hari.
Yes.
Swami, I always wondered like what happens when a person dies, or do they born again? If they born again in that shape, what do they come off as humans? But today you've already mentioned that after one birth there's another birth as well. But I have seen videos and stories and heard from people like those about some of them remembering how they were in their previous birth. Is that really real? Is it possible? And if it's possible, can you explain like how people can actually go back to their previous birth and actually remember that this is what I was when I was born previously?
Yeah, not in all cases, but in some cases they may remember. In some cases, even if many times we feel that it is better that we forget also. So these kind of instances only proves rebirth, right? Because because even a child which is 10 years old is able to remember while I was with my husband, when I was old, I was living in this house. Such instances are seen. So that means what? You are only 10-year old. How did you remember that? That means in the previous. So the first question is, yes, there is rebirth. That explains the theory of karma. And secondly, what we have been thinking in this life actually prepares us for the next. Because what we want to experience, which is not experienced in this life, will be taken to the next one. So when you are having your mind on a particular thing which you have not accomplished in this life, will become a starting point for the next birth. You are actually preparing your next birth by thinking right now. So blueprint of next birth is already being prepared. So what you think is very important at this point. So Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda used to say, you are already getting ready for the next birth and what form you will take. Because the subtle body called the mind, etc., is filled with thoughts, and when they are not fulfilled, it will drive you to the next one. And some of them may remember what has happened in this birth, in the next one. Not all of them. But it only proves, exception always proves the rule. Therefore, the people who remember and then say, in the previous birth I was like this, only proves that there is continuity. Right?
But how? Is there an explanation like how they can remember it? How they...
Our mind is the same.
The mind goes.
So I said, no, mind never gets old. Body gets old. The mind is the same. It is like you are gone, you have come from India to here. Your memories about India is still there. When you go back, will you not remember where you were? Body has come here. And you go back after some time. You remember this is where I played, this is where my friends were. In the same way, body has moved on. It will take another body. Body doesn't decide the memory. Mind is already has the memory. So it is said that we can, if we want, we can go deeper and find out what is. But in general, we don't go into that area because there are many stories or many experiments are done when a person is put into deeper hypnosis. The person remembers the previous birth. So, but sometimes it is good, sometimes it is not good. Most of the time, it is not good because you don't want to remember that the dog that you had was your uncle before previous birth. He tortured you so much. Now he has come as your dog and you can keep king whenever you want. So you don't remember all those things. Okay, we'll complete that. Thank you all for the beautiful participation, and we'll continue that in the next.